Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper. Welcome to my studio here in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky, where the storms are beginning to roll in today. So hopefully we won't have lightning and thunder, but I don't know, it's on its way. Today we're going to be making a very simple card. This card we made it at Houston at Stampin' Up's on-stage event, and one of my customers fell in love with it, Terry. She wanted to make this in class. So this card we made in Stamp Club, in our stamp class, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It's very simple. You will need some supplies. You'll need a card base. This is a regular 5.5 by 8.5 card base. We'll be folding that in half. And the best way to fold a piece of cardstock like this is to bring the corners together, line those up, and then pinch it in the center. And then go from side to side. Then take your bone folder and give that a nice crease. And there's your card base. I'm going to put that to the side. We also need a piece of, I'm using Very Vanilla. In Houston, we used watercolor paper, but that's really not necessary for what we're doing. So this is just a piece of Very Vanilla. And we have a little bit smaller piece of basic white. We also have a small piece of lemon lime twist, just a scrap of lemon lime twist. And that's all we need for this card. I did not put anything inside my card, but I did provide something for them to use for the inside of their card, so we'll do that as well. So let's get started. I'm gonna bring in a piece of scrap paper to work on. And I'm gonna start with Pecan Pie ink. I'm using the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. I don't know if you've seen this. This is in the 2024-2025 annual catalog. We'll be using this little crosshatch stamp, the butterfly, and the leaves, and the thanks. So I don't know if you noticed, but on this card, on the base, we stamped some crosshatching. So I'm going to do that first. And I'm only going to do that up here in the corners and down in this corner. So that's all I'm doing with that. And then what I did for this background layer, we're going to go ahead and do that next. So this background layer, like I said, on stage we used watercolor paper, but we are using Very Vanilla. And we're taking one of our water painters. These come in a set of 3. One is a very fine point. One is a larger brush point. And then there's this guy. And this is the one we'll be using. This is a very large, flat kind of brush. And it's used to do water painting in the background. It's a nice big one. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take one of my old clear blocks, and I'm gonna add some pumpkin pie refill to this. I only need a little bit of that. And I'll take this brush and I'll just get some of that water mixed with some of the ink. And I'm just going to simply brush this across this piece of card. Ooh, did you hear that? Thunder. So this, I really only need to do this on the edges of the card because the middle's gonna be covered up with that piece of white once we get it stamped. And I want it to look rough, so I'm not really concerned about whether it's all very smoothly colored. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear that rain. And that is it. To clean this brush, there's a little place that says push, you'll just squeeze that and that will cause the water to flow, and you'll just brush it until the water runs clean. Now your brush may be stained by some of the inks, but it won't really affect the performance. So just brushing that ink out. Then I'm going to bring those bristles, kind of bring them together so they'll fit back into the cap. And we are finished with that guy. So now we have this piece, and I've gone ahead and done one because it needs to dry. So this is one that I've already done, and it is dry. And then we're ready to stamp. Get that out of the way, get us a clean piece. So we're gonna stamp on the smaller of the white pieces. We're using one of the new ink colors. This is Shy Shamrock. And we're just going to stamp some of these big leaves. Now, if you want them to look more dimensional, you can stamp twice without inking so that you have some that look like they're in the background. I stamped mine all the same way. Mine are all first generation, that's what we call it. And then I'm also going to stamp one on the inside. This is going to be the inside of the card. So I'm going to put one over here on the inside. And I'm finished with him. I'm going to take my Petunia Pop. This is another new in color. And I'm going to use the butterfly stamp. I'm just going to stamp him right up here. And there's our little butterfly. And the last thing I need to stamp is this piece of Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to use that same color, and I'm going to stamp this Thanks. Oh, that's kind of crooked. Let me try that again. Get it over here where I can see it a little better. Oh yeah, that's better. Two sides to the paper. Okay, so now we have all our pieces, and it's just a matter of assembling our card. I'm going to bring our base back in. Get rid of that. Again, this is the inside of our card. And then on the outside, we're going to place these two together, and just so they are offset just a tiny bit. So I'm going to put glue on the inside part of this. And then this is ready to go on our card base. And that watercolor paper, you may have to find that you have to put a little bit more glue on the edges of that. It might have curled a little bit because when it has the water on it, it will tend to curl a little bit. You might have to put some glue in the corners, but I kind of like the dimension of it sticking up a little. And then the last thing we'll do, we'll take our paper snips. We're going to cut the end of this so that it has a bit of a diagonal cut to it. We'll put dimensionals. I've got some minis right here handy. Oh, which one's the straightest one? Oh, okay, that's the one. All right, we'll put some dimensionals on the back. Like I said, the minis are the ones I have handy, so that's what we're using. Peel off the backs. And stick this on. And there's our card. Now you could add Wink of Stella, you could add jewels, embellishments, you could dress this card up a little bit. This is just a very simple card to make, so we just left it simple. We always do one simple card in our classes because the others are usually a little more involved. And I hope you enjoyed the card. If you have any questions, you can email me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more projects, I have a website, www.bluegrassstamper.com, and you can visit my YouTube channel, which is where you are now. I'd love any comments, and thanks for joining me. Bye.